If you're watching this video right now, chances are you're considering filing for bankruptcy. That's not a fun place to be. There's probably a better way to resolve your debt, but there might not be. Listen to the basics so you can know what the right way out of your financial situation is. There are two common forms of bankruptcy for individuals, Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Let's go into the differences between the two. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is when a court-appointed trustee oversees the liquidation of your assets. That means they sell all of your stuff to pay your creditors. Any debt they cannot pay off is erased in Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now, it's not a given that you can file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, even though that sounds like a dream if you have a lot of debt, right? The court, or usually your attorney, figures out if the petition for your Chapter 7 bankruptcy will be accepted or not. If you make too much money, you can't file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If you have a lot of assets and the sale of them will get rid of your debt, there's no point in filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now, there are certain debts that you cannot get rid of in any bankruptcy. Student loans, IRS or any sort of tax debt, and back-owed child support. Those three things you absolutely cannot get rid of in any bankruptcy. Chapter 7 bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 10 years. 10 years. All right, let's get into the basics on Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It's very different, and it is usually what attorneys will tell you to go with if you make too much money to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Chapter 13 bankruptcy doesn't forgive debt like Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Remember, you make too much money to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Instead, it reorganizes that debt so that you pay it off between 3 and 5 years. Anything that you haven't paid off between that 3 and 5 years, and you stayed within the plan that the court has given you, gets erased. Anytime you miss a payment within that 3 to 5 years on your Chapter 13 bankruptcy plan to pay off your debt, it defaults and your creditors get everything that you owe them. Very little money is erased in Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Very little. The court assigns someone to look over your budget on a regular basis in those 3 to 5 years and extract every penny that they can from you. Anyone can file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy as long as you have less than $419,000 of unsecured debt and $1.257 million of secured debt. You also have to be up to date on your tax filings. Chapter 13 bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 7 years. You should also know filing for bankruptcy is not free. It usually costs thousands of dollars and has many other risks other than being on your credit report for 7 or 10 years. Filing for bankruptcy should be your last resort. The emotional toll is pretty high. And if you miss any payments, the court can come after you hard. Your creditors can start garnishing your wages. Your home can go into foreclosure. Bankruptcy is just not a magic eraser on debt. It is best to avoid filing for bankruptcy and try to get out of debt yourself. If you are in debt and you're trying to get out of debt quickly, you're considering bankruptcy, please take a step back and consider whether that's the best option for you. It usually isn't. Reach out to a financial coach at saverstreet.com. We can help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right option for you. Generally, it is better for you as a whole person and better for your finances to work to get out of debt as quickly as you can. Please reach out, book a complimentary consultation, and someone, probably me, will talk to you.